So why we need to induce labor is because of a lot of maternal conditions or a fetal condition.
So, is induced labor more painful than natural labor?
In this, we are artificially giving the contractions, so they might come too early and too much.
If you have ever wondered why do doctors induce labor? Is it safe? Does it make labor more painful? This episode is for you. Joining us today, Dr. Molshi Mishra, obstetrician and gynecologist at Cloud9 Hospital, SB Road, Pune. Welcome, Dr. Molshi.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so doctor, basically what is induced labor?
Induction of labor is a process in which we stimulate the uterus artificially before the natural process of labor has begun. We use techniques, they can be either medical or surgical, in which before the labor has begun, we try to start the process.
Okay, so why might labor need to be induced?
So why we need to induce labor is because of a lot of maternal conditions or a fetal condition. Maternal condition can be post-dated pregnancy. A term pregnancy is about 40 weeks. So when we have to deliver a patient before 40 weeks, we need to induce it. It can be in the cases of gestational diabetes mellitus. In that, induction depends on the number of factors, like how well the sugar is controlled or not, whether the patient has a high BP condition in which end organ damage is happening, like preeclampsia or gestational hypertension. In that, we need to induce the patient about 37 or 38 weeks, depending on the other factors.
What methods are used to induce labor?
There are two methods basically. One can be medical methods and the other are surgical methods. So beginning with medical methods, there are substances which we use which are normal part of the body, prostaglandins and oxytocin. They are found in synthetic forms. So we use prostaglandin E2 like dinoproston and misoprostol also, and something called as oxytocin, syntocinon or pitocin. They are they are used after proper assessment of the patient, how ripe the cervix is, and we do something like a Bishop score. We see how ripe the cervix is, what is the condition, how much is the urgency of the situation. Based on these factors, we decide what drug we should use in this patient. And also there are surgical methods. So first of all, a mechanical method is called as a stripping, in which it is a OPD procedure in which we take the patient and we just do a gentle assessment of the patient and we do a stripping. It releases some hormones because of which the patient goes into labor earlier. Otherwise, there can be something called as a Foley's induction, in which we use a balloon catheter which is put in the cervix. There is no need of many medicine in this. So this is favorable in patients in whom by chance we don't want to use any medicine, and in special conditions in which there is a previous surgery in the patient, we can use a Foley's induction. And another method is something called as an artificial rupture of membrane. In that, we do a rupture of the membrane when the cervix is partially opened. So based on which case is relevant, which medicine we should use, we decide the medicines and what should be used in that case.
Okay. So, is induced labor more painful than natural labor?
Well, it is assumed that induced labor is more painful because in this we are artificially giving the contraction, so they might come too early and too much. And whereas a natural labor is more gradual, so it is said that it's painful, but with proper techniques and pain mechanisms, we can make it very comfortable for the patient. Like we all know that there are methods like epidural analgesia, in which we can take a shot in the spine and it becomes painless. And there are other breathing exercises, and there are other techniques like relaxation and massages which make it very comfortable for the patient. Also the position, if the patient is ambulatory during labor and moving about and proper partner is available, it becomes not that painful a process.
Okay, so how long does induced labor take?
Well, that is not a fixed amount. It depends from patient to patient. Like I told you, like induction will always depend on the patient profile, whether she is a first gravida or she is pregnant for the second time, for what condition we are inducing, what was the condition of the cervix at the time at which we did the induction. So all in all, I think on an average, it maybe takes maybe maximum 24 to 48 hours for the whole induction process to end. Induction once begin, we cannot reverse it. We have to take a decision after induction of labor.
Oh. So, doctor, what are the risks associated with induced labor?
Well, the risk associated, as like with any procedure, there are definitely some risks, but with proper monitoring of the patient and with particular skills, we can all decrease the risk. First of all is like the more rate of cesarean section in such patients, because not more rate, but because we have once started induction and in some cases it doesn't react to any induction. So that term is called as failed induction. So about 30 to 40% patients who have been induced go into failed induction, and we have to do a more cesarean in such cases. The risk of other assisted vaginal deliveries also increases relatively in the induced labor. There can be there can be a very rare, but there can be a uterine rupture in patients in which sudden contractions come over, and the previous section was there or the scar was there because the patient had a fibroid surgery. So in that case, uterine hyperstimulation can happen. So because of all this, excessive monitoring is required for the patient, and of course fetal distress can happen, for which we do continuous monitoring of the patient. And any case because of hyperstimulation or whatever, the baby's heart rate goes, we immediately take up the patient for section.
Okay, so lastly, is induced labor safe for the baby?
Absolutely, it is safe for the baby. So the recent studies say that whenever we do an induction, the cases of neonatal ICU admission are far less as compared to for somebody we are letting the pregnancy go post-dated. And also the neonatal and perinatal mortality of the baby is very less in compared when it comes to induced labor.
All right. It was great having you here to discuss such a sensitive topic. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to our listeners, if you found this episode helpful and informative, do share it ahead and subscribe to our channel for more such informative videos. Until then, take care and stay healthy.